What's good? What's good? What's good? Good people. It's your boy, Parish Sharkey, the beat reporter for the Memphis Grizzlies for Bluff City Media. Here with another post-game bounce. After the Grizzlies just defeated the Utah Jazz 125-103 at the Feds Forum to complete their four-game homestand with a four-0 record and a six-game winning streak dating back to the two prior games that they played right before the two prior games against the San Antonio Spurs that they won before the homestand, beginning with the Minnesota Timberwolves on MLK Day night. So the Grizzlies are now 31-15. They are still third place, ironically, because the Houston Rockets defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers for the second time this week. The team that was the best team in the NBA, Houston Rockets. So they're still hanging on to a half a game lead. Actually, so the Grizzlies have one more win than Houston, but they also have one more. Basically, the Grizzlies have played two more games than Houston. They have 31 wins to Houston's 30. They also have 15 losses to Houston's 14. So Houston only has a half a game lead technically, but the Grizzlies have a rematch with them coming up next Thursday. So first they got to get through the New York Knicks on Monday night. So that should be two good fun games coming up for the Grizzlies. But going back to this Utah game, this was NBA Rivals Week. I do want to give a shout out to Jessica Benson for tweeting this out because she basically was saying shout out to the Grizzlies and Jazz for playing to the rivalry week because the Grizzlies and Jazz are not rivals. Essentially, I never thought of them to be rivals. I know they knocked us out of the playoffs when they were the 1 seed and we were the 8 seed. But yeah, Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert were completely other different teams, right? That team that they have tonight, there's not a player on that team that I can think of that was on that playoff team with them. If Colin, I don't think Sexton, if he was in, nope, Colin Sexton was in the league, but he wasn't with Utah. So not many of any players were on their team. And like the Grizzlies, who does have Ja, Desmond Bain was, I think he was a rookie that year. Jaren Jackson just came back from his meniscus tear that year. So then Brandon Clark, of course, the Grizzlies got their core. John Conchar, for all people, was on their team. So, but yeah, I don't see how that's the rivalry, but a lot of games. I guess I don't know, they how the NBA did. There was a lot of games that played today that I didn't consider rivalry games. But, to each his own. The MLK Day game, if it was Rivals Week, that was a rival in Minnesota. But the rest of the week, New Orleans was a rival. Who would play? I forgot who played Wednesday. Yeah, these games be run together. But like I said, going back to Utah game, shout out to Jessica for tweeting that out because that happened after some smoke happened. First up with Ja Morant and Keontae George get into a little scuffle. I called it a kerfuffle. Shout out to the reporter who asked, I forgot whenever Golden State, when Kevin Durant was in Golden State, him and Steph Curry, they asked him that question, and that was the first time I heard that word, and it basically that means like interaction or something along the lines of like a scuffle, essentially. And I remember Kevin Durant was asking like, "What do you say?" That's a vocab. Stuff like that's a word. So yeah, that's what I called it. Ja Morant, Keontae George got into it. Gigi Jackson mentioned after the game he felt like he carried over Summer League, which I forgot. I forgot about the Keontae George thing because I would ask someone in media row, my guy Greg Gatson. I was asking him about like, did Zach Edey have smoke with Parker Kessler? Because I remember Summer League, he was giving him that work. Then in this game, he came out on fire going at Parker Kessler. I was like, dude, did they have a rivalry in college or something? Like, that I didn't know about. And Gigi was mentioning how Keontae George, and I forgot the scuffle or whatever that happened with him in Summer League, not with Gigi Pacific, but they did the Grizzlies in Utah. That matchup in Summer League, I think it was the first Summer League game, and Keontae George, I can't remember who it was. He was getting to smoke with someone then. So Gigi was like, "Yeah, it's a carryover." Felt like it's a carryover coming into the regular season, but he was like, "Hey, y'all want to try us? We'll be ready for it." So, hey, that was a funny moment. They both got called for double text. Then after that, I mean, probably 2 plays later, Zach Edey, what's my guy name? Drew Eubanks went and tried Zach Edey and failed, and proceeded to get ejected. Went to try and like on like a fast break, went and like pushed up to him and failed because Zach Edey's so big. Zach Edey didn't even move, and so seeing people call it weak. Yes, technically it was weak for him to get flagrant too. Probably happened because of literally that Ja Morant, Keontae George thing had just happened like 2 plays prior to that. So I don't think even 2 full real-time minutes had went out before that happened. So maybe they went into it. Not sure, but yeah, he got booted, and Utah was they tried the Grizzlies. They failed. And the Grizzlies went ahead and blew them out. The rest of the game after that, Jaren Jackson had 20 points in the first half on the way to another great night for him. Like, I think he led the team, I want to say 28 points. I want to say 28. Yep, 28 points he had to lead a 6-man double figure scoring. All the starters scored in double figures. I think he had 28. Desmond Bain had like 17. Gigi had 15. Well, I know Ja had 11. I want to say Wells had like 13 or 14. So yeah, they kind of went. And Zach Edey had like 17. He had close, or 18. He had close to 20 because he had like 5 points at the end. So yeah, but shout out to the Grizzlies. Took care of business against a lesser opponent. Did what they were supposed to do. And it's just yeah, they took care of business. It was a fun night. Ja Morant did. He said shout out to the big fella and Zach Edey. Zach Edey told him, asked him after that thing with him to come to George, like, hey, they messing with you, man? Ja Morant's like, nah, good. But yeah, so for the people who are saying people don't take up for Ja, Zach Edey do. So I know we've seen that quite a bit on Twitter. People act like the Grizzlies don't have people who come in be enforcers, but everybody throughout the locker room tonight was saying Zach Edey. Like, Desmond Bain was like, hey, I wouldn't try Zach Edey. So Zach Edey is known as the enforcer for the Grizzlies. And tell Draymond Green that, because he was trying to act like he wasn't early in the season, and we've seen it since then. So, but yeah, shout out to the Grizzlies. Took care of business. 6-game winning streak. Still fighting, although they're 0-3 against the Rockets. They're right there for the number 2 seed, battling right there. So, and they got the matchup with them next Thursday. But prior to that, got the game at the New York Knicks, a top team in the Eastern Conference, a championship contending type of team themselves. So this should be a pretty good matchup coming up. So, like I said, the Grizzlies took care of business. We'll see what players. Marcus Smart was week to week. He's still out right now. Coach Jenkins did. I mean, he didn't say nothing tonight, but like a couple weeks ago, he was saying he hoped they get Vince back by the end of the month. Next week is the last week of the month, and they got 2 games. So there might be a chance that Marcus Smart and Vince Williams could be back, or at least Vince, since he said he was hopeful that he gets back at the end of the month. And next week is the end of the month, so might have a chance to get him back. Santi was still out with the illness, so we'll see how his status is going forward. Hope he gets better. Ja Morant was way more Springer, like, so he looked like he's got better from his illness. And Jake Rayfield did upgrade to doubtful. I think he was out last game, and now he upgraded to doubtful. Maybe he was doubtful both games, but that means he might be linking up to questionable. So they might have their full team for the first time this season in the coming games. So yeah, very exciting to see what's going on with the Grizzlies. And not much to say. They took care of business. And that's all you can ask for. Another 6-game winning streak, another homestand. I think back in their last 6-game winning streak early in the season, they had a 4-game homestand. That was around Thanksgiving, where they had a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday game. This week they had a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday game. So, and they took care of business then, taking care of business now. So again, hey, ain't much more to say. They won the toughness battle and the game. So can't get too mad at that. Taking care of business is the quote of the night. And hey, let's get ready for the New York Knicks on Monday. Till then, it's your boy again, Parish Sharkey, the beat reporter for the Memphis Grizzlies for Bluff City Media. And I'll see you next time.